He's looking strong. He's had a long weekend. He's had a busy month. We're going to talk all about it with Jimmy Dukes.
Hey, what's up, buddy?
How you doing? And you made it home safe?
Yeah, man, I sure did, man. It was a busy weekend, but it was awesome, man, for sure.
Okay, so just this weekend specifically, did you carpool with the team?
I did. I rolled with Warriors Lair out of El Paso, Texas. They had two guys out at APFC 22, so shout out for them. I jumped in the trunk and came along for the ride.
I was about to ask what that was like in the car, but I guess you don't know if you said in the trunk. All right.
Right? The Muay Thai pad stuff is more important in the back seat than little old me. But yeah, man, shout out to them for having me tag along with them and take care of them for the weekend. It was a great experience.
And I think I'm even going to, I sent you a list of stuff we were going to talk about, and it's me. So I'm going to start off with something that I didn't put on that list just for you.
All right.
If we go even further back, because I was like, oh, wait, the last 2 weekends, you've done 3 events.
Yes.
3 weeks and 4 events, right?
Let's see. It was
it Kingdom?
Empire? No, Kingdom. That was a little further back.
Oh, that
no,
was.
yeah. Empire was 2 weeks ago. Then we had the two back to back this weekend.
Okay, so I was a little bit off, but yeah, 3 and 3 weekends. You were doing commentary, and I guess we will talk about it then. First off, Empire, Reign of Champions, main event. What were your thoughts? You're on the call.
Man, Peter, El Vaquero Caraballo. I like saying that. Really good. And versus Alejandro Quero. That was their main event. For me, for a lot of people that don't know, I'm just starting to learn a lot of the different people and just the Southwest and everything. But yeah, Peter came in as a main event. He had mad experience, Muay Thai, MMA, and he was going there against another pro, Alejandro Correo. He had got that win at Fightworld where he beat Jennings. So I was excited to see what he was going to go out there. But man, back and forth battle for the main event. But Peter ended up getting that submission to end the night. And when he won, they brought in Anthony Burchek. Apparently, him and Anthony Burchek are the next main event for the Empire show. So I thought that was pretty cool.
So, have you ever heard of Maximum Fighting Championships? Have you ever heard of MFC?
No, man. No. And I'm always honest because I've only kind of been on the scene for like under 2 years. So there's so much stuff I don't know or the history. So I always love being schooled and educated for sure.
All right. So this actually isn't even an American promotion. This is how far I go back with the man you just mentioned, with El Toro, with Anthony Burchak, with him schooling me on something on Twitter. I think I've been interviewing him since, it was 2013 when he was fighting. Well, 2012 when he came out here to New Mexico to fight, and 2013 when he started fighting in a ring in Canada before getting to the UFC.
Crazy. That is dope.
He's going to come back.
Yes. So apparently that had been in the talks. I had heard wind of it, but for me and you, I mean, we hear your stuff all the time, but until it gets announced, I always just tell people, hey man, this is going to happen. Can't wait for you guys to announce it. But yeah, sure enough, Mr. Burchek was there and they faced off right after the win. And I thought it was pretty good, excited for Tony to come back and, Peter to come back up here in the Las Cruces, New Mexico area to fight Burchek, man. Excited to see how that goes, man.
And Anthony had been down there, I believe, in El Paso a couple times recently with the promotion that's hat you're wearing with CFC. Wasn't he an MC for them, a event host?
Yeah, he's their multi-talented. We call him Uncle Theo. Tony, man, he great announcer, man. He's been doing that for them for over the past year and a half, I want to say. And he enjoys doing that. He coaches. He had a bunch of guys fight at the actual Empire card as well. They went 2-2. But I know he's been itching to get back in there. So the fact that they ended up making that work out, it's exciting just for the sport, and especially for our area for sure.
Shout out El Toro Tech and all the teams out there in Arizona. Been a while, but I knew I saw that familiar face in the cage.
Yeah.
Last time I saw him. I hugged him in the middle of an intersection in Las Vegas as we were like crossing by. And I was like, wait, I know this man.
Hey, what's up, dude?
In the middle of the night. Yeah, exactly. Hey, who's grabbing me? Oh, wait, I know him. We stood there talking. You know how long Vegas intersections last.
Yeah.
Still ran off before the light moved. But yeah, I love that guy. Great to hear that fight's going to be happening. What did you think of that ruckus and crazy amateur card, though? And even, the ruckus crazy amateur card where all these title fights were just dramatic finishes.
Dude, we had the 115 strawweight for men, first title that I know of in the Southwest, the first fight in that division for men, and God knows how long. But yeah, Brendan Willard actually fought at 125 for the title. The last event, he got offered a title shot at 115 against a stud of Jorge Garcia. The guys were supposed to fight at 125 like a year ago, but they meet at 115, and Brendan goes in there and just subs Jorge in the first round. You know, he pops everything off. He was a local kid. He got that win, so it was exciting to see that and call that.
Yeah, that one. Follow it up by, and I saw him at the weigh-ins, unfortunately. I told Santi Gonzalez, we've always wanted to see you go viral. Unfortunately, not every time you go viral is it going to be in the form and fashion you want it to. But as we can joke, because he can learn, his wrestling was looking better.
Yeah, I mean, I was excited to see what was going to happen with, Gabo Peñado and Santi. I've known Santi for the past year and a half. I've been keeping up with him. He's a killer. He's been working on that ground game, and they were both obliging for a stand-up game, but actually Santi mixed it up, went for a takedown, and the most craziest knockout that I have personally seen, and I've been watching MMA for a long time, but it was so odd. Went for the takedown. He went for what is it called, the can opener. He was pulling Santi's head. Or Santi was pulling his head on top, and Gabo he does this in practice. Guys were telling me somebody just does that. He just does that to kind of get you thinking, not for like a knockout punch, but right. I don't know what the physics and the medical, but right when he tagged him twice, Santi was out before he even got rolled over. Gabo finishes the fight and won the title, man. The arena was crazy.
I wouldn't know what the technical terms are, but I'm going to guess that there was an exact nerve that he clocked at the same time. That shut everything off, right?
Yeah, dude, because, I mean, I've seen Santi in some wars, you know what I mean? And he's not a light guy, but for that to happen was crazy. And another thing, too, and he's all right. I checked him with him that day. 2 days later, I saw him this past weekend. But, yeah, that was so odd. The way that happened was the craziest thing I've ever seen. And yeah, he got that win and got the title, man. So I'm excited for Gabo to see what he's got going on next, because that kid's a killer as well. And, Santi ends up losing 3 in a row now in title fights. And I know he's going to go back and keep fighting because that kid does not quit. So excited for, what they both do moving forward.
For Santi, it's just a little bit of time to go back, maybe just work on some things and adjust right now. Gabo, yeah, keep moving forward. That was a big one. We had seen him at APFC a while ago, and this is a huge way to build now 3 in a row since that experience, and the last 2 being knockouts. Great victories for him. Not to mention, talking about knockouts, it went to 3 rounds, and you got to indulge in it and enjoy. So how good of a fight was Gallegos Ortiz, as we had been hyping that one up for a while?
Bro, I almost passed out on the pay-per-view yelling because we watched the Gabo fight, and I was just like, ugh. And then we had the fight right after that, and these guys came out just tagging each other, defending, using grappling. They were both going toe-to-toe and ended up going to the 3rd round. They dropped each other at least 2 times each. I want to say Angel had dropped Alexis a couple more times, but there was a lot of grit from Alexis. The fact that he was able to come back and defend after being dropped, and Angel got dropped, man, it was wild. I was losing my voice, and that was only like halfway through the card. But yeah, Angel gets another one, man. 5 finishes, 5 in a row. Man, this guy's on a tear.
A killer, just certifiable right now, whether it's standing, whether it's on the ground. He is showing that he has all of the potential on a night to put all the skills together.
Definitely, man. Definitely. And excited for him. I know that he, took some time away and then he's really been on it now. So excited for that SFS product to see what happens from there.
There was a ton of finishes on this card. There was a ton of fights on this card. If you find the results, guys, there's like first round finish,
Yep.
first round finish,
Yep.
second round, first round, second round, first round, first round. Couple decisions sprinkled in here.
Yes, it was crazy, man. Like I said, it was 17 fights that night, and man, I was losing my voice, but man, it was a great card. The matchmaking, all fighters on both sides came out to fight at the Pan Am, and it was a great showing.
Of all the people I didn't mention, was there a name that was still sticking out to you that needs some recognition? Sorry to put you on the spot on that one.
I mean, there's a bunch of guys. I mean, yeah, and this is just me because I know a lot of the people for that promotion. You know what I mean? AJ the Disciple gets another win at 45. He could be in the mix, pretty soon with Isaiah Delgado, who got a win as well. He's 3-0 as well for their promotion. Juan Caramillo came from Tucson, and he got a spectacular finish as well. Jude Smith got another TKO. Lexi from, I'm not mistaken, Phoenix or Tucson, Lexi Hill. It was the only female fight on the card. She went out there and got a spectacular TKO in the first round. But man, it was an exciting card, and I think everybody was just happy that we were back in the Pan Am, and everybody was showing out for everybody in the crowd and on the pay-per-view, man. The pay-per-view was crazy as well, man.
So we go from that to then you're picking up a camera. Next time I see you, you're running around. It's Fightworld. We don't have the amount of fights. We don't have that crazy card. But what we still had was a couple dramatic finishes, some great decisions. Ozzy Chavez, Joseph Velez. I knew there was no way that was getting out of the first round, and doesn't disappoint as Velez gets the takedown. Ozzy goes for the submission. We get the sweep, the ground and pound, but that was still generally as exciting as just I thought it was going to be delivered.
Yeah, I know we only had 8 fights on the card, but they were all still exciting. You know what I mean? I just feel like even though it was a smaller card, the people did fight on the card, put on a great show at the Revel. Still, everybody was still, running around having a good time and, supporting the local fighters. But yeah, that main event, I thought it was going to last a lot longer. I've seen Veloz fight before. He actually fought for Empire about a year ago. And, he had took some time off, and he said he was really working on himself. And he looked great. I mean, he looked fit. He looked good to go. But yeah, I mean, it seemed like that jujitsu, like little sweep, led to the start of the end, right?
I want to say it's something like 6 out of his 8 fights or 9 fights that he has now have ended in the first round. And Ozzy is like 5 out of his 6 fights. So that I had like all my money on this one is not getting out of the first 5 minutes. Just knowing those two guys, there's no off switch, and they really did go for it. Much earlier on in the night, the very first fight actually from the amateurs, as we get into them, because I saw him when we were leaving APFC. I stopped Chris Otero Talent. I was like, what did you think about this? He hit Thomas Haney so hard that Haney looked like a zombie. The amount of blood that was just gushing
that was
out of his nose.
I think it broke his nose, bro. Like, and he still fought for 2 more rounds. Oh shit. It was crazy.
And even Chris is like, he just kept walking forward. What was that guy made of?
Yes, dude. That kid is tough. Alamogordo, man, out of Desert Dynasty, man. That kid is tough. I've seen him fight all 3 times, man, and he's not a quitter. Even though he was getting his butt kicked a little bit, he still kept coming forward, and he could have tapped out or give it out any time, and he kept going forward, so respect to him.
It's just that ridiculous toughness where it looked like, I didn't ask Chris about this. I don't know if you ask a fighter this one, but it's like, did you tire out from punching him? It looked like he might have got something that fatigue. I just dumped my load right here. I was trying to finish you, man.
The Alamogordo zombie is what we might call him forward.
The Alamogordo. And funny that we're going to be talking about this card because they might have been watching live. Shout out El Paso. I think Zen was watching. They sent me a image on my Instagram of Ruben Luna practicing the ninja choke for this fight. And he catches Mr. McDonald, our guest last week, Alistair McDonald, with the first exchange. Somehow the head gets pulled down. A ninja choke to a high elbow guillotine. I don't know how he got out of either one of them. The back was against the cage, and we're just from the media section, like, oh, this is not good. This is in. And somehow Alistair escapes. Beautiful back take and a submission by rear naked choke. But that was just a incredible sequence of jiu-jitsu from Ruben.
Yeah, the way he attacked the neck, you know what I mean? And I'm not like the most technical, whatever, and all the chaining, but he just seemed like he did one thing that led to another, and kept chaining the attacks to where it just was, he kept the pressure on. So McDonald didn't really have a time to breathe. So eventually it was like, oh, dang, now I'm stuck. Now I'm fighting this rear naked choke. And it's like, oh, dang, fight's over. And, you know, Ruben gets another finish already. And that's another finish on his little streak that he's been on lately, 3 in a row.
Johnny Cecil versus Cameron Page. So many different side stories to this fight. Because first, just on the outlook of it, we don't have a lot of Taekwondo guys. We both know one. We know Richard Jennings. Not many Taekwondo guys coming over. Bates Taekwondo, known here in Albuquerque, up in the Heights. And to have that kind of background, a lot of pressure, have been cross-training over Fit and HB, getting the MMA feel, and then to have an opponent in Cameron Payne, who I believe probably already deployed by the time we're doing this show. And Mr. Page out there fighting for our country. He is also deployed, much like we mentioned, Roberto Armas serving our country, but wanted to come back here and fight first. That one was an absolute war for the bit over 2 rounds it lasted.
Body kicks, man. Man, they were going at it, and then his cup fell out. Remember, his cup fell out. And that was funny because they were like, "Hey, why does he have a tie one?" But yeah, that they fixed the malfunction. But those guys were, you know, taking turns, and not much ground game on that one, right?
I think the commission was imploring fighters after that to get fresh cups and fresh shorts, but an absolute war to come off base, to run into the cage on a weekend off before deployment real quick.
Man, I love hearing that. I didn't know that. That's badass.
And to take a literal kicking, his legs, his body, that was a heck of a war. And maybe Page would have had a bit better go at it had he been able to have been here locally and doing his normal training running into the fight. But yeah, make sure you got a good cup, everybody, if you're going to go compete.
Yeah. They were saying that actually at APFC. They're like, hey, we had a malfunction yesterday. Y'all need to get your cups together.
We had 2 split decisions on the card. Alfredo Alvaro over Damon Haloma, and Irving and Chondo over Bo Velasquez. I tend to agree with the judges then that they got these ones right.
Yeah, I know from Damian from Zen, this was a little test for him because he's already won twice in a row there. And now he was fighting Beast Boy, who has a little bit more experience. So I was excited to see, you know, Beast Boy's been he's been on a slump. So he's fighting a kid that was on, on a rise. And he was able to do enough to get the job done. So I love seeing young talent when they get tested, because, you rattle off 2 or 3 wins in an amateur and you're like, okay, you're feeling yourself. And then now you start running into some guys that may have lost 1 or 2 and they were on that same little trajectory. And then all of a sudden Beast Boy's like, no, man, you're not by me. And, congratulations to him for getting that win. And the other one, I didn't see it. I think I had walked away at that time, but I don't think I heard anybody say, oh, that should have gone the other way for either of them.
And shout out Killian Carter for kicking Devin Gomez so hard. I've never seen someone's legs turning black and blue while still in the cage fighting.
Man, heavy. When somebody says, "Oh, heavy leg kicks," those were heavy leg kicks, man. And Carter's a dang tank, man. That guy is a tank. I've seen him fight twice now. And but yeah, it was cool for seeing him go in there. I thought he was supposed to fight at APFC, then it fell off, and then he got this one. So I'm glad he was able to get that fight in there.
We are going to have the champion. Jalen Fuller will be here tonight, about an hour away, a little bit more, 7:40 tonight. We got Parker Porter coming up in a few minutes. Saul Taylor, the Duke City Championship Wrestling Heavyweight Champion, is going to be here in a couple minutes. So we got about 10 left as we try to make it through APFC. So unfortunately, we're going to have to do this one a little bit quicker, but we'll start off with Jalen Fuller. He never ceases to amaze me how impressive he is. Takes his time, analyzed, I think got mad, went in there for a kill, and then found it.
Yeah, dude. And that was the main event, right, at APFC, if I'm not mistaken. And it was like, I didn't know the caliber of the other guys. So like, I'm still learning a lot of the guys. But when I was kind of talking to them, everybody was buzzing for that fight, when everybody was buzzing. And I liked how you said it. He took his time. He got that finish. And then he said, hey, with all due respect, you know what I mean? This guy was supposed to be on his way to the UFC. And like, here I am defending this title and, beating these guys. And man, I thought that was an amazing performance for sure. What did you think about it?
It was scientifical. It was methodical. And this summer we have a contender series coming up. This should get the call. Jalen Fuller deserves that opportunity. As APFC said, the most exciting welterweight not signed to the UFC. There are a lot of great Russian wrestlers, but the UFC wants knockouts. They want finishes. They want violence. Submission of the year 2 times, knockout of the year, 3 fights in APFC. Jalen has earned this opportunity. He's a gentleman everywhere but in that cage.
The gentleman, right? He's a super nice guy. That was the first time I've heard of him. That was the first time I've seen him. He treated everybody with respect, but he's a killer, man. He is sure is a killer. And at the face-offs, they got a little I was like, oh, okay, cool. Like I was excited because I'm a fan always first. So the fact that I get to see a lot of these guys that I've heard of fight in person, it was amazing. And what a great event as well at APFC.
From your neck of the woods, James Pleasant, the team has even messaged me and asked me what I thought. And I'm like, I thought at worst it was 49-46. I thought James just took his foot off the gas in the 5th round. Maybe it showed a little bit of fatigue. I was like, maybe all he needs a little bit more 5-round experience, but he controlled the fight. He controlled the distance. He peppered away, and he frustrated a very veteran fighter to not be able to get the fight going in any direction. The high kicks he was aware of, the takedowns he was aware of. It was a very good, but not the most crowd-pleasing performance ever.
Yeah, I mean, Matt, one thing I did say, and I was asking people around me, because I never want to be the type of person like, oh, I know this, I'm saying this out of pocket. But I felt like Emmanuel was like a legit older veteran pro that was just in his face and was not fazed by the head kicks, not fazed by the attacks. But on James' credit, he made sure he stayed up, he was scoring. I mean, it's not a crowd-friendly fight, but I mean, I thought James did enough to win the fight for sure. And the fact that he might have slowed down, yeah, but he was attacking the whole time. It's not like they were falling all over the place or whatever. It went all 5 rounds. It lacked luster, but there was a lot of technique going on there for sure.
The body kicks. Emmanuel had a rough weight cut, and he was low pudgy in the middle. He was a 45er for a long time, a little bit older. Weight cuts are harder. I thought the body attacks were all a great idea. But before we get you out of here, let's talk about the amateur card. You know more about a lot of those guys. Isaiah Soleita still needs to come on the show. We were still clowning him for ignoring me last week, but it looked like he put together using his frame, using his reach, and this is kind of the tape that the team is going to show him. This is how you need to fight.
Yeah, man. I mean, how many fights does he have? Like 50? But But man, all jokes aside, anytime, Mr. Anytime, Anywhere, he looked good. After fighting in Alamogordo not too long ago, and he actually fought Elijah Quinn. They went back and forth, and he came out swinging, putting the pressure on Jawan, and he was flowing. I had messaged him out, hey man, you were flowing. I was in their corner actually. I wanted to give shout out. I'm officially 3-0 as a second corner. If anybody ever needs any second corner coaches out there, but it was dope hanging out with Otero Combat Sports. That Isaiah looked amazing and got that finish. I thought that was amazing for him.
And then who else's corner were you in?
I was with the Warriors. So we had Gabriel Sejas one shot fighting Mike Sell, actually out of Otero Combat Sports as well. And Gabe looked good. He's had a couple finishes in his combat career. And this was a test for him as far as like veteran and more fights. He passed the test. Then, of course, I was there as well with the Curly, Jeremy Robles. Man, what a bloody fight toward the end with Elijah Quinn. And he got that choke to finish that as well. That was exciting for me to be with those guys in that corner and get that footage and just kind of be a part of it. And what else on that amateur card?
I was walking out. I was exhausted at the end of the night. I quickly told Jeremy, I believe, congratulations on the fight, but you're not wrong. The way he was walking him down, the way he was firing those hooks, the body shot, and then stuffing the takedown to get the Darius choke. That was a beautiful performance. Really good stuff from him. I wanted to throw that win on top. Clinton,
yes.
Whitmere, if you didn't see that one, the heart that he showed to grapple through this ridiculously broken foot and somehow get the back and submit Quayshawn Randleson when the two of them just kept exchanging. It looked like they were fighting on a pat of butter.
Dude, I had heard after, like, he hurt his foot in the first round. I guess they said it was the first kick. And I was like, didn't that go like 2 rounds?
I don't know how he kept having the energy to keep scrambling. At some point I thought, oh, he's just going to lay there.
It's not even energy. It's just like the pain to be able to go through that much pain. And that's why I jokingly always say this, but it's true. This is why we're media and we're not fighters, because to have that grit and determination to be like, my foot's broken, I'm going to just keep moving forward. And I think I look back at it. I don't think he ever looked down once.
No, I don't think so either. And talking about that, Roberto Valenzuela, last time he lost via cut. This time he didn't lose via cut, but this is the problem about getting cut. That same cut just opened again. Gabe opened it. He was bleeding everywhere. And for a wrestler that we know is the Barber, who had to show some of that, he did a lot of efficient striking on the night as well.
Yeah, man, he pushed him up against the cage, made him work, was throwing punches. And Valenzuela, like, yeah, you're right. That scar tissue, right? That scar tissue. I remember back in the days with the Diaz brothers and Vanderlei, like, that was the first time I ever heard of that kind of stuff. But it's true. You get that cut, and if you just kind of smear it, it just opens up. But it was back and forth battle, you know what I mean? But I felt like Gabe did enough to win for sure.
Oh, and also shout out RJ Mendoza. Eric Ortega, it looked like he was wrapping up that guillotine, and then the script got flipped on him. The power bomb, and as he slammed down to the ground, all the wind's just knocked out, and he's getting pounded on. So heads up for Mendoza on that one. And Jacob Snowick, he went 100 right out the gate, and I think Johnson wanted to feel his distance, kind of get to know the fight, and Jacob just jumped right on him and never relented.
Man, like, and the thing about all those fights too, there was a lot of guys I've never even heard of, but now they're on my radar. The fact that, they're able to bring in so much different talent and some of the guys from this area as well to fight. That's when we started moving up toward the pro card, right?
Yeah. We're probably not gonna have time to get through all of that real quick, but everybody, we have solved the debate. You're not going to like me to say it. You're not going to want to hear it, but I truly think you got to stay in your lane a little bit. Like, you got to commit to the game to get good at the game. And 0-10 in combat sports overall in his professional career. We're talking karate, boxing, MMA versus 7-2 and a nearly fought world champion caliber boxers. Boxers box, MMA fighters do MMA. Deontay Butts smothers to a submission Antonio Zapata. We have seen Abigail Montez beat the GOAT, the GLOAT, Carissa Shields. MMA boxing, two different things right now, and that's what that heavyweight fight just shined out to me, because it looked cool on the feet for like 30 seconds, and then Butts got in the inside, got that down, and Zapata basically fared how I expect I would in a fight.
Yeah, like when everybody was walking out there, you see the physiques, obviously, the height. Everybody's like, oh, man, bet the house on the other guy. There was some people around, bet the house. But Butts, man, I actually shout out to him. We were in the back, and he's all, come on, blue corner, let's go. Like, he was trying to get everybody hyped. He had no corner. Shout out to the Peak brothers. They were his corners. He didn't even have a corner. Went out there. It got that dub with the mother's milk. Come on, man. You can't write that kind of stuff, bro.
Shout out to Pettis Fighting Systems. It's always like that. They will help out anybody. Ezra Peak was supposed to be on the card, and when a couple fighters didn't have corners, it was Deontay Butts. It was also Darius Crutcher. You saw the Peak brothers jumping in there to lend a helping hand. Two general studs from those gentlemen to always bring a helping hand. I'm sure I'm going to hit the rest of this card when we talk to Jalen Fuller. What does Jimmy Dukes have going on next?
Man, I think we got a break, but I think we got CFC actually next month. So I'm looking forward to that. It's going to be an all-pro card down here in El Paso at the County Coliseum. So shout out to CFC. They're moving venues. They were at a casino. Now they're at a Coliseum, like one of the venues, a historic venue here in El Paso. And that card is, I think, April 20 something or mid to end of April, but excited for that. As far as me, I'm taking a break. We got three events in 2 weeks. I need a break, buddy.
Where are we going to find all your photos, all the videos, everything I saw you running around doing this weekend?
Oh, man. Yeah. If you guys want to check me out, Jimmy Dukes Combat on Instagram. That's where I just do all my MMA and combat sports content. And then if you want to watch anything like the interviews and anything long-term, it's Jimmy Dukes Rodriguez on YouTube. So if you guys want to check me out, I appreciate you, man. And thank you, bro. It's always a pleasure seeing you and running into you and, getting to know you. And I respect the hell out of everything you do, bro. So I appreciate you having me on, man.
Respect the hustle, man. You have a good night, and we'll see you soon. I know it.
Yes, sir, man. You take care, bro. Later, guys.